It started with a sentence that hit me like a cold blade to the chest. My wife, Arya, looked me straight in the eyes one quiet evening and said, "I need a break from you." No fight had led up to it, no screaming match, no storm of anger. Just those words, spoken as if they had been rehearsed. I froze, the television humming in the background, its light flickering across her face. "A break from me?" I asked slowly, unsure if I had heard correctly. "What does that even mean?" She crossed her arms, avoiding my eyes. I need space. I need time to figure myself out. Please don't ask too many questions." Her words carved a hole in my chest, but I swallowed the anger rising in my throat. I wanted to shout, to demand answers, but something inside told me to stay quiet and observe. I nodded stiffly, though every muscle in my body screamed against. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying her tone, the strange detachment in her voice. It wasn't the words that frightened me. It was the timing. Because only a week earlier, I had heard through a mutual friend that her ex-boyfriend, the one she had loved passionately in college, had just returned to town after years abroad. The coincidence was too sharp to ignore. Over the next few days, Arya grew distant. She would step outside to take calls, whispering in hushed tones. She started dressing differently, more carefully, as if she were trying to impress someone. And the lies came, subtle at first. Dinner with the girls. Working late. Just going for a drive. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But every instinct in me screamed that something was wrong. Finally, one evening, I decided to test the waters. As she picked up her bag and announced another late dinner. "With friends," I said casually. "Strange timing, isn't it? Your ex just got back to town, and suddenly you need space from me?" Her body went rigid. For a split second, I saw panic flash across her face before she forced a laugh. "You're being paranoid. Not everything is about him." But her eyes betrayed her. She couldn't even look at me as she walked out the door. That night, I followed her. Not because I wanted to be the jealous husband, but because I needed the truth. I drove a few cars behind, my heart pounding harder with every turn she took. Finally, she pulled into the parking lot of a quiet restaurant on the outskirts of town. And there he was, her ex, tall, confident, waiting for her with the kind of familiarity that cut me like glass. I watched from a distance as she got out of the car, her face lighting up in a way I hadn't seen in months. She hugged him tightly, lingering too long, her hands brushing his shoulders as if they had never forgotten the shape of each other. My stomach twisted. I felt like a stranger peering into someone else's love story, a story that clearly hadn't ended. I didn't confront them then. I sat in my car, fists clenched, watching them disappear inside. I stayed there for hours, waiting, my mind racing with memories of our wedding vows, our promises, every laugh we had shared. It all felt poisoned now. When she finally emerged, it wasn't alone. He walked her to her car, touched her cheek tenderly, and kissed her forehead. She didn't push him away. That was enough. I drove home ahead of her, sat in the dark living room, and waited. When she walked in past midnight, I was there. She flinched, startled. "You're awake?" "Yeah," I said, my voice calm but cold. "How was dinner with the girls?" Her lips trembled. It was fine." "Really?" I leaned forward, my eyes locking onto hers. "Because I could have sworn I saw you at Riverside with him." Her breath caught. The color drained from her face. For a moment, she looked like she might faint. "You followed me?" she whispered. "I had to," I snapped. "You tell me you need a break, you start lying to my face, and it just so happens your ex is back in town? What did you expect me to do? Sit here like a fool while you run back into his arms?" Tears welled in her eyes, but I didn't let them move me. She had cried in front of me many times before, but this time I couldn't be sure if her tears were for me or for him. Finally, she broke. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean for it to go this far. I just. I needed to see him. I needed to know if the feelings were still there. My chest tightened. And were they? She lowered her gaze. The silence was louder than any answer. That silence told me everything. I stood, my chair scraping against the floor. You could have told me the truth, Arya. You could have been honest instead of playing these games. But you chose lies. You chose him. She reached for me then, sobbing. No, I don't choose him. I was confused. I thought I needed closure, but when I saw him, I realized I don't love him anymore. I love you. Please believe me. I pulled away from her touch. Closure doesn't involve secret hotel bookings. Closure doesn't involve lying to your husband. Closure doesn't involve letting another man touch your face like you belong to him. You don't get to call that confusion, Arya. You call it betrayal. She crumpled to the floor, weeping, begging, promising it was over. But something inside me had already snapped. The trust we had built, the foundation of our marriage, it was cracked beyond repair. For days, I wrestled with myself. Part of me wanted to forgive, to hold on to the woman I had loved so deeply. But the other part of me, the part replaying the image of her lighting up in his arms, knew forgiveness wouldn't erase what I saw. Love without trust is just pain wearing a mask. In the end, I chose myself. I told her I couldn't stay in a marriage where lies replaced honesty and breaks meant running back to someone else. She cried, begged, pleaded, but I didn't bend. I walked away, carrying the weight of both heartbreak and dignity. When people ask why our marriage ended, I don't tell them the whole story. I just say, she needed a break. But inside, I know the truth. She didn't just need space. She needed her past more than she wanted our future. And that was the moment. I knew she was never really mine to begin with.